45. There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow! Oh my God! Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Welcome in to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 402. Today is Friday, May 24th, 2024. As always, I'm your host, D-Rock. Joining me, as always, is our NBA guru, my partner in crime, Elvis Acosta. E, how you doing today, kid?
I'm doing overall pretty good. Today was an interesting, long day, but overall good day. So, was able to enjoy some playoff basketball to end the night. But other than that, let's get into it.
Yeah, we still have that nice weather here on the East Coast, so taking advantage of that for Memorial Day weekend. But yeah, you're right. We'll start there. Mavs take game one on the road, 108-105 in Minnesota. I mean, what a game. I mean, get a bounce back here from Kyrie. You called it. He didn't have the best series last round, but he comes back here. Game one in the Western Conference Final, drops 30 points alongside Luka, 33 points as well. They get 13 points from PJ Washington. Big-time clutch free throws at the end, but not enough. Jaden McDaniels had a good game with 24 points. Rudy Gobert, not the best game. I'm surprised he didn't have a lot of rebounds. He didn't get there for me, but 12 points. Karl Anthony Towns had a pretty good game, 16 points, but no one really went crazy for them. Shout out Kyle Anderson. He had double digits off the bench. Now as Reed continues to impress, but they didn't get that one big time performance. I mean, Jaden McDaniels led the scoring for the Timberwolves with 24. That just can't happen in a Western Conference game. You need to do it. You need to have at least Anthony Edwards or Cat step up, in my opinion. And also it comes down to free throws. 61% from the field. You hit 80%, 90%, you win this game. So it comes down to free throws again. But and that's despite the Mavs shooting 24% from three, 6 for 25. I mean, they didn't really shoot the lights out of it. I mean, 0 for 3 Kyrie. Luka was 3 for 10, 2 for 8 PJ Washington, and they still went on the road and won. This is a gritty team, E.
Yeah, Dell. I'll just start there. I think you brought out, your closing, Dell. The fact that the Dallas Mavericks is able to sneak out this game one with shooting 24% from the three, where we know this team is capable of shooting upwards of 40% as a team. To me, that's the most surprising factor in this win. Luka 3 for 10. PJ 2 for 10. Derek Jones Jr., who shot so well from the 3-point line in the last series. He was killing OKC from the 3-point line. He was 0 for 2. Kyrie 0 for 3. Then off the bench, you just got Green hits 1. And they still find a way to win this game. Kyrie, they flipped the switch still. It was Luka doing it most in the first half last series, Kyrie doing it in the second half. Kyrie went out to attack. Tyreek had what, 24, 25 first half points. We saw him have that, I want to say a buzzer beater, but that drive late in the first half, get that and one to close it to like a 3 or 4 point lead. And then Luka Doncic, still, he was just flat out special. I think he had 14 fourth quarter points. That step back, when he caught the ball, had a wide open three, re-dribble, step it back, hit the other three, hit the three over Anthony Edwards, and then when he hit that mid range and he yelled with that grah running up the court, it just showed me that Luka, he's not just embracing the moment, but he's living up to it. That's what I wanted to see, and that's why I picked Dallas in this series, just because those two top dogs night in night out. I know what they could get you. I said it. If this duo averages 60 plus in this series, they're gonna most likely advance to the NBA Finals. So I'm just glad that Kyrie looks so well and plays so well offensively, just because we didn't see that since game 4, game 5 of the Clipper series. We know what Luka's capable of doing. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, Anthony Edwards didn't shoot well. Cat shot 6 for 20, but McDaniel shot 6 for 9 from the 3-point line. Deal 9 for 15 from the field. He led them with 24 points. How many nights is McDaniel's going to give you 24? Deal. He's been on the score and tell. This is a 3 straight 20-point plus games for him. First time in his whole career he's on this type of streak offensively. So I wonder if that's going to continue. So all the people that's going to be like, oh, Anthony Edwards is off, Karl Anthony Towns is off. I don't expect McDaniels to do that too often either. So great win for the Dallas Mavericks. And let's see what they could go game 2. I'll go 2-0 on the night. I took the +4, 4.5 with Dallas, and I took Derek Lively over 7.5 points at +100. So those 2 cash for game 1. Let's see what we get into for game 2, Bill.
Yeah, I go 1-1. The total skyrockets. We didn't even need overtime. Went over the total. And Rudy Gobert doesn't go over his rebound prop. But I think, speaking of rebounds, I think that's the problem also. I mean, they got out rebounded 48-40 Minnesota. And that's the team with the size. That's who has more bodies down low. And look at this number: 62 points in the paint for the Mavericks, 38 points in the paint for the Timberwolves. You would, if I told you who had more points in the paint, I don't want to speak for you, but I think most people would say the Timberwolves probably with the size that they have. So you're getting out muscled at home, and that just doesn't look good at all. So,
and another thing, Dale, even Anthony Edwards, he admitted after the game, he was gassed. He comes out end of game 7 saying he got Kyrie. Kyrie was, I'm not going to say he was giving him buckets, but he was gassed at the end of the night from guarding Kyrie Irving, because Kyrie Irving gave him everything he got and more. So give credit to Kyrie for, slowing down Anthony Edwards in some way from his defensive side, so he couldn't really carry it out on the offensive side. So give credit to Kyrie Irving on that for working Anthony Edwards, and let's see if he could bounce back in game 2 at home. I wouldn't call it a must-win situation just because we just saw the same team, Minnesota, win 3 out of 4 games in Denver. So I'm not going to say this is a must-win, because I know this team is capable of winning a couple games on the road. I'm not going to say it's a must-win, but it's damn near. It's very damn near. So I want to see Ant and especially Cat bounce back. I'm not saying that I need 60 points combined. All I'm saying is they need to be way more efficient from the field. 6 for 20 is unacceptable. 6 for 16 from your number 1 player is unacceptable.
Yeah, because I was just gonna ask you, who do you need to see more from? Because I feel like they got what they needed from the bench. I mean, Kyle Anderson and Nasri gave you double digits.
Still, you got from your role players. Besides Michael Conley, to me, he's been iffy ever since he missed game 5 or 6 with that hamstring injury in the Denver. So I'm not going to fault Michael Conley. Seems like he's battling with injury. But Rudy Gobert, he showed up 12 points. McDaniels, 24 points. Kyle Anderson, 11. Naz Reid, 15. The supporting cast supported. Your 2 big dogs in Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, they just wasn't efficient enough in the night. So, they could have walked out with a victory. They just had to be a little better. So I know the Dallas Mavericks are going to shoot better from the 3-point line heading to game 2 and moving forward in this series. But I also expect Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards to be a little more efficient moving forward in this series. So going to be a great series moving forward, Dill. I can't wait to see.
Yeah, Friday night, 8:30, game 2 in Minnesota. And I expect Anthony Edwards to show out. I mean, I don't expect him to go down like this at home. I think they tie it up going back, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, right. You were saying before, Minnesota was favored coming into this series. Odds have flipped now for the series. Dallas Mavericks -154 to win the series, +130 for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, if you listen to Elvis, you could have got that plus money a few days ago. That's a good call on you. I think they are very live. I think a lot of people are underestimating the Dallas Mavericks as well. Let's go to the next game. They take a 1-0 lead as well. The Boston Celtics take care of the Indian 2-0. Excuse me. They go up 2-0. They win both games home. Surprisingly, usually they drop game 2. But no, they win convincingly, 126-110, and not the biggest, I would say, first 3 quarters for Jason Tatum. He kind of came on after, but I think the main guy was Jaylen Brown, 40 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists got a double-double from Drew Holiday, 15 and 10. Didn't need anything from Al Horford. He still gave you 10 rebounds as well. But Derek White, another big night, 23 points. Peyton Pritchard had 12 points off the bench. And I mean, once Halliburton went down, they kind of were done. Pascal Siakam 8. He continues to eat in this series. And now since Halliburton is hurt, and we don't know if his status for Game 3 going back to Indiana, you're going to have a young Andrew Nembhard on Jason Tatum. This might go 4 games. Like that's a bad matchup. He went down, according to Woj. He departed with a left hamstring tightness / soreness. He missed 10 games with the left hamstring strain in January. So it's the same hamstring that he pulled in January. Heard it again. We saw OG Anunoby go down, and he missed it. He couldn't even give it a go. Game 7. First, the game, thoughts on the game, and then come back. Do you think this is a serious injury for the Pacers moving forward?
Thoughts on the game. I like the fact that the Pacers came out way better in Game 2 than they did in Game 1.
Yeah.
It was, we saw it from the get-go. Pascal Siakam, 4 straight points to start the game. He had a huge game. I cashed on his over 20 and a half. He had 28. He closed out. He started the game pretty good with the first 4 points. Then he closed out the second quarter well. I think the game kind of got decided not got decided, but Killer Easy went either way in the second quarter, just because we saw the Boston Celtics take control of the game during that stretch when the Pacers couldn't bow a bucket for about 5 minutes from the end of the first quarter to about the 6.5 minute mark of the second quarter, when they finally was able to get to the free throw line and get a couple shots in. But they struggled offensively to start the second quarter, and I thought right then and there when Boston jumped out to the 16-point lead, I thought the game was going to get out of there and get over. But give credit to the Pacers for closing out the first half so well, especially Pascal Siakam, who I think he had 10 points in the last 3 to 4 minutes of that second quarter to close out the half to make it a little more interesting. So I like the fact that the Pacers came out ready to play in Game 2. But like you said, we got to give Jaylen Brown credit. Another great game. Still, he came out aggressive Game 2, the same way he came out in Game 1, but he was even a little more better in Game 2. He hit a couple of threes. He had 40 points. I love the fact that he was really aggressive, 27 shots. He knew he had to be a little more aggressive because we saw how the type of night Jason Tatum was having. From the get-go, he was off, So we saw him get it going, especially late in the fourth, midway in the fourth quarter, late in the third quarter. But Jaylen Brown had himself a game. Derek White, he just found himself kept getting open, Dale. I don't know what it was, communication.
He's legit, man. I'm telling you.
I don't know if it's defensive breakdown, miscommunications, but he kept finding open shots. Pritchard as well. When he entered the game, he just kept getting open in the corner, down the lane. So he had a huge game as well. Drew Holiday, both sides of the ball. And one other thing real quick.
Yeah.
With Jaylen Brown, Dale, he's giving you on both sides of the ball. He gave you 40 tonight, and he was playing great defense. When Pascal Siakam got in rhythm and started, really attacking the bucket, and late in the second quarter, then in the third quarter when they made that little run, they switched. Jaylen Brown started taking Pascal. I don't know if it was a coaching decision or Jaylen Brown said it himself. He said, "I'm gonna guard Pascal," and then the Celtics just took care of business right then and there. So give the Boston Celtics credit for just shutting down the run. And now with the injury, Dale, I hope it ain't too serious, just because if it is, I don't think the Pacers really have a shot. Do I give them a fighting chance to sneak one out in Indiana without Tyrese? Maybe, but what we saw in Game 1, even in the first half of Game 2 with Tyrese still, the Pacers could play with the Boston Celtics. I know coming in, I know speaking for me, I don't know about you, but I didn't think the Pacers had a shot. I thought this was going to be over in 5 max. What I saw in Game 1 and what I saw especially in the first half of Game 2, the Pacers deserve to be in the Eastern Conference Finals to play against the Boston Celtics. But if you're telling me for Games 3 and 4, Tyrese Halliburton is either 1, not going to be able to play, or 2, not going to be at least 90% of what he was, the series is over in 4. So I just hope it ain't too serious, but if it is, is going to be over in for them.
It didn't look that bad, but so didn't OG's when he went down. So you never
It's
really know.
you never know till he walks on it the next day. And
Yeah.
remember, both conference finals is 1 day rest. So
Yeah, exactly.
everybody's is on and off, on and off, on and off. Every game is Eastern, Western, Eastern, Western, Eastern. Nobody's gonna have a 2 day rest. Maybe if Kenton Clark comes to town, and maybe you gotta push him the day back just because she's gonna sell out an arena in that city. But other than that, it's gonna be every other night. And if it lingers or it's just let's just say it's strained, it's gonna be an issue. Though it's gonna be an issue.
And it's not even like the Pacers shot bad. They shot 52% from the field, 38% from three. I mean, from the free throw line, they shot 69%, not the best, but they didn't really get out rebound. I thought what it really came down to is the Celtics beat them at their own game. Fast break points. 54-34. I mean, they got up and down the court, and it looked like they were the more tired team as opposed to the Celtics, who were just getting out there. They were leading by 20 at one point, points in the paint as well. I mean, they just got low, and the size, like, especially if Halliburton is gone. So yeah, I like you. I didn't think they had that much of a chance. I thought they could have sneaked one out. It would have went 5 games, but if Halliburton can't go for games 3 or 4, I mean, it's looking like a not so competitive series. So Tatum, yeah, like you said, not the best night, especially the first 3 quarters, but he got it going a little bit. He actually went under his rebound prop, but game 3 in Indiana, you know what the line opened up as, kid?
I must say, with Halliburton, I haven't looked at it. With Halliburton being healthy, I'm gonna say Boston Lane 7.5.
Boston laying 7,
Ah,
over unders at 224. They're smart. It went from 207 to 212, still went over 2 in a row, and now they jumped all the way about 10 points to 221 or something like
yeah,
that.
because they expect the Pacers to score at a higher clip at home,
Still
and
take
the
the
Boston Celtics
over.
are still they're gonna drop buckets.
But yeah, big win for the Celtics. They take care of business at home. Now go to Indiana for game 3 on Saturday over on ABC. So, yeah, they took care of that. Little NBA news before we transition to the gridiron. I guess this is the offseason of coaches just getting fired, kid, because we got another coach getting the boot. Cleveland Cavaliers, they dismissed their coach, JB Blackshift. He led the Cavs, to conference semifinals. He won 99 games the past 2 seasons. But I think from a president and from a GM standpoint, they need to get deeper into the playoffs. I don't know what they want to do. I don't know what direction they're going to go. But one name that I have heard from Shams, from Wojnarowski, is Golden State assistant Kenny Atkinson. He coached Jared Allen and Chris LeVert with your Nets in the playoffs. That's one name I heard. It just happened a day ago. I don't really know what direction they're going with. I don't know if they're going to keep Donovan Mitchell. I don't know if they're going to build around Garland or vice versa. Like, what direction do you see this team going? Because honestly, I don't think they're a player 2 away. I think they're a couple pieces away.
First, the number one priority is trying to extend/sign Donovan Mitchell to a long-term
So that's who you
contract.
would build around, not Darius Garland, if you had to choose.
If I had to choose Donovan Mitchell, just because
Yeah, I
Darius
agree.
Garland didn't really have a good playoff run this series, just my opinion. I know Donovan Mitchell could show up in big moments. He's a superstar in this league. Darius Garland, is he capable of being a superstar?
He's an all-star.
He's an all-star. I don't think he's capable of being a superstar. It maybe one day, but not next year, not within the next 3 seasons. So you gotta find a way to sign Donovan Mitchell long term, because remember, this is his last year. He could either just play it out, be a free agent next season, or Cleveland just trades him away this season and get something in return instead of losing him for nothing. Sooner you get that settled, is either you're gonna sign him, or you're gonna trade him, or you're just gonna roll the dice and see what's up. Play the next season. Me personally, I like Sam Cassell. I would love Sam Cassell to get get a shot. I think he's a great mind. He's been on plenty of benches, under Ty Lue, under Doc Rivers, and I'm pretty sure he's a champion. I'm pretty sure he's a champion. So I just feel like Sam Cassell deserves to be a head coach in this league. There's other coaches, who I think deserves a shot. Adrian Griffin, the Bucks, who was the Bucks head coach for half the season. Frank Vogel, my boy Frankie V. I think he's a solid head coach. Darvin Ham, I don't care what anybody says. Darvin Ham is a solid head coach. He, he led a play-in team. I understand he had LeBron Anthony Davis, but regardless, he led a play-in team to the Western Conference Finals. He did do that. So I don't know. To me, my opinion is still, why is a head coach getting fired just after 2 seasons when you lost to arguably the best team in the league in the Boston Celtics, and you was without two out of your top three best players in Jared Allen and Donovan Mitchell for the closing games of the series? I understand it's not, as an owner's perspective, shout out Dan Gilbert, you might not get everything you want, but there's 28, 30 other teams in the same predicament you are. There's about 20 NBA teams who wish they could be where you are. So I just feel like not just him, but a ton of NBA head coaches should get a longer leash. Just because you don't win a championship in your first 2-3 seasons doesn't mean it's a fireable offense. So it's a shame, but what could I do, Dill? If I could put a name in the hat, it would be Sam Cassell for the next head coaching job.
I agree. I'm pro coach like you. I think they should get a little longer of a leash. I think the thing I would push back on is they've had a team. Yes, they were a little injured this year, but yeah, I think that last year was inexcusable. Losing 4-1 to the Knicks.
Yeah, losing to the Knicks in 5. That's what I was going to say. Fireball fence. No disrespect to your Knicks.
That's 2 years in a no, I know, but that's 2 years in a row where they were favored to come out of that series. And you didn't even go 5-6 games?
But they were favored against the Celtics?
No, but last year they were healthy. That's my thing.
Yeah, I understand.
I guess from like a business perspective, I could understand that the GM or the owner could sit back and be like, can this guy take us to the promised land? Can you confidently hire him as the coach? Would you?
No.
That's my thing. I know.
If I have championship aspirations, do I think he's a championship head coach?
Maybe,
but for what I'm giving him, no, he's not the man. For if my goal is to win a championship with the team,
he's not the guy.
He's not the guy.
Yeah,
he's not Phil Jackson. No, he's not Ty Lue. He's not. At the end of the day, he's a good head coach. He's not a championship head coach. He's not Eric Spoelstra, who could turn water into wine like he does every year.
Do you think this thing in Cleveland could get explosive and they just blow it up? They fired their coach. What if they go saying, fuck it, Donovan Mitchell, you don't want to be here, Darius Garland, and they just trade them both and get a lot of picks, a lot of young assets? I think that's a possibility because, one, I don't think Donovan Mitchell wants to stay. That's one. And I think they're going to be forced to build around Darius Garland. If Darius Garland says, fuck it, I want out too, they might be forced to blow it up, kid.
I wouldn't say blow it up just because I feel like let's just say Donovan Mitchell's gone.
Yeah.
You still have Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, who all are all-star caliber players. You have Chris LeVert, who on occasions could give you 20-plus points as a starter or as off the bench. He could do that. So you could possibly trade Donovan Mitchell away for one or two options. All-star caliber player with role players, or just trade him away for about 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 first-round picks. Who knows? Rudy went for 5. Donovan Mitchell might go for 5 or more. So you could play it out one or two ways. Do I think they will blow it up? I do not. But it all comes around. What is Donovan Mitchell going to do? Is he going to sign that long-term deal, or is he going to force a trade? Or the Cleveland Cavaliers are like, you know what? We're not going to sit around for a year and just lose you for nothing. We trade you now while the market is hot. So, or just wait till the trade deadline. We'll see. Maybe the best case scenario is wait to the trade deadline, see if you're competitive or not, see how you're looking in the standings, and if you don't like what you're seeing, eh, rebuild right then and there. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I do think it would be interesting what David Griffin winds up doing with this team. We'll see though. But if they don't want to resign, they got to get something for these two guys. Like you said, these picks could be valuable. You never know.
Look at OKC, man. They built something special trading away Paul George, Russell Westbrook. So
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Also, did you see the All NBA teams? First, second, and third team were announced. Jokic, first team, SGA, Luka, Giannis, Tatum. A lot of people didn't think Tatum. I thought he deserved it. Second team, Jalen Brunson, AD, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Kawhi. And then third team, LeBron, Steph, Devin Booker, Therese Halliburton, and Sabonis. People keep hating on Sabonis, but Sabonis keep making all NBA team. I'm happy for Sabonis. Anything you disagree with?
I'm not gonna say a person or two should have made it. All I'm saying is I feel like Tyrese Maxey deserved to make an All NBA team just because Joel Embiid was out for a long period of time, and I understand they didn't get a higher seed, but the fact that Tyrese Maxey was able to weather the storm, to me, I think he earned an All NBA selection at least. So other than that, I liked everything. I like the fact that SGA got his first All NBA. Giannis, to me, to me he was a little too hurt uh to make All NBA first team, but at least he got the 65 games. That's all that matters. But no disagreements. I just feel like Tyrese Maxey should have just made a team. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, with this getting the All NBA selection, Tyrese Halliburton and Anthony Edwards could earn up an extra $41 million. I mean, kids are about to get paid, kid. Let's transition real quick to the gridiron. Marvin Harrison Jr. finally gets a deal done with the Arizona Cardinals. Guaranteed deal, 35.375, 23 million at signing bonus. It's a 4-year deal, fully guaranteed, and he's the highest paid wide receiver on the team as a rookie. You happy about that?
I love it, Dale. The fact that he was able to negotiate a fully guaranteed contract as a rookie, people, that's business. Every rookie out there should be like, I want what Marvin Harrison did. Every player in the NFL should go to Marvin Harrison, junior or senior, and be like, how you did that. Kirk Cousins, look at Kirk Cousins deal. I know the Atlanta Falcons deal wasn't fully guaranteed, but his 2 or 3 previous contracts were. So I love the fact that a player was able to get a contract fully guaranteed in the NFL, and not just a player, a rookie at that. So that might be scary for a lot of owners out there, and GMs might be scary for them, but I'm pro player. To me, I'm great and happy. I'm great with that, and I'm happy for the players, especially moving forward. I would like to see more of these deals get done for them.
Shout out Michael Thomas. He was the one who got the first fully guaranteed contract. And we see a lot of that in the NBA. So I'm glad players are getting it. Still can't buy his jersey or play with him in the video game just yet, but hopefully he gets that lawsuit figured out with Fanatics. Also, just literally about 20-30 minutes before we started to record, Raiders reworked the contract of Pro Bowler Max Crosby to give him a $6 million raise for this upcoming year. The team also moved an additional $1.2 million into 2025. They wanted to reward the leader for being a leader in the locker room, and probably their best player on defense. So you think it's deserving the $6 million raise?
Absolutely, and it also clears up some cap space. Still, so it wouldn't shock me if the Raiders make another move, out there, still Stephon Gilmore, Justin Simmons, Leonard, the late signing the Eagles got. So it's definitely, or even Biotish, the lineman from Green Bay, definitely some veterans out there still available. Starter camp is soon, Dale. So might get a signing soon. Definitely well deserved little raise, but we all know they'll got a little raise just so they could clear up some cash space for later on, Dale. So watch out. Raiders might be signing somebody real soon.
You mentioned OTA started. CeeDee Lamb not in there. We know T.
Damn
Higgins.
right.
I know they
Damn
also
right.
they got a big problem, Cowboys. I mean, we could talk about that for hours, but I mean, Dak, they got a franchise tag Minka Parsons, and then they're gonna lose one of them. I mean, they
No,
can't sign everyone. I
no,
mean,
they
CeeDee
they
Lamb's not gonna take a pay cut.
they're gonna sign all three. I say between the three, I say Dak takes a hairline pay cut. When I say hairline, I mean hairline, just so Minka and CD all could fit under the cap. Because remember, Dak already got his payday. He's bagging up for his second, big long term deal. CD still on his rookie deal. Minka still on his rookie deal. So a lot of people are wondering, oh, why the Cowboys they make no big off season signings? It's because they gotta sign their
Yeah.
their big dogs in Dak, Minka, and CD Lamb. So I think CD Lamb gets done. I won't say sooner or later. It wouldn't shock
It
me
should
if
have been done already, though.
no. Absolutely right, Dale. But we saw how Jerry Jones and Ezekiel Elliott got a little nasty a couple of years ago. Basically, deal got done, I think, like September 4th or something like that. I think CD deal gets done week 2, week 3 preseason. I think it's just nasty, Dill. I think they'll just wait it out, see who budgets first, and I guarantee it's not a huge difference in the numbers.
And
It's probably an extra $10 to $20 million on the guarantee side, Dill. So they gotta Jerry Jones got to figure a way, one, keep them all happy and to fit them all under one cap. That's gonna be the hard part.
Dak came out today after practice and said, he's training. I talk to him every day. He's working out. He's doing what he has to do. So he's still staying in shape. I agree. I think it will get done. I think they should have took from Jerry Jones' perspective. I think they should have took a little more of the Eagles route. Lock them up it early because once they get signed, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, I mean, the market's
Maybe
going to flood.
maybe they're waiting to see what T Higgins does or Brandon Ayuk, because you don't want Jerry Jones to reset the market. If Brandon Ayuk and T Higgins, let's just say for example, they both get somewhere under $30 million. You don't want to be the oddball and give CD 34, 35 when Brandon Ayuk and T Higgins go for 27, 28. So
Yeah.
maybe that's part of the equation as well, that Jerry's not also trying to overpaid once again for a target. We saw him
Yeah.
overpaid, make Ezekiel Elliott the highest paid running back, and how that worked out for him. So
Just to
maybe
end
he's
up back
just
home.
yeah. So maybe he's just waiting a little bit so that doesn't happen again. Because if T Higgins and Brandon Ayuk sign fair deals with their teams, maybe CD and his agent Jerry Jones can work out a fair deal also.
Yeah, it will be definitely interesting. We're about a little over a month and a half, maybe till futures. Can't wait for that. So hopefully everyone does get signed by that point or finds a home. But before we get to our plays, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. No wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or an elderberry watching the NBA playoffs, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with our Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. Friday night, 8:30, Minnesota hosting Dallas Mavericks. Minnesota laying 5.5 at home, plus 180 for the Mavericks. Over under is at 207. I'll lay it here with the Wolves, kid. I like the Wolves here in a bounce back spot at home. I love the over again. I mean, 207. That was the same number we had last time. Actually, a lot of overs have been hitting in the NBA playoffs, but gonna take the over again. I'm gonna lay it with the Wolves. I think they bounce back here in a big spot, and I think at least one of them is going to regress. I don't think it's going to be Luka, but maybe Kyrie regresses and just has an okay game too. But I'm going to lay it here with the Wolves. I'll lay the 5.
Dude, I love it. But give me the Dallas Mavericks plus 5.5 on the road. Dude. I do expect the Timberwolves to bounce back. I'm pretty sure I expect them to go back to Dallas 1-1. But I expect another close game, dude. It wouldn't shock me either if Dallas happens to go up 2-0. I'll be shocked, but I wouldn't be too surprised. So give me Dallas Mavericks plus 5.5 in a nail biter, and then give me PJ Washington over 12.5 points at minus 105. Though we saw PJ Washington go over this number when he showed up in the second half. Really, fourth quarter he showed up, made a couple threes, hit a couple free throws, and he got to 13 points. Still, I expect him to be much better, more efficient from the 3-point line. He couldn't buy a 3-point or a bucket in the first half. Hopefully, he makes a couple in the first half of game 2, and I expect him to. So give me PJ Washington over 12.5 points. We saw how good he was in last series. I'm not saying he's going to average 20 plus a game. All I'm saying is I expect him to average more than 12.5 points.
I got a couple player props as well for you. I am going to
Yeah.
do first one, spicy. Give me Naz Reid 3+3s at plus 380. His last 5 games against the Mavs, he's hit 7, 3, 1, 3, and 3. So in general, I think this is a great matchup for Naz Reid against a smaller lineup in Dallas. So plus 300 or better, I think, is great value. I'm looking now, it's at plus 370. It went down 10 cents. I still love it. Naz Reid, 3+3s. He's hit this in 4 of his last 5 games against the Mavs. Second one, going to go PJ Washington over 5.5 rebounds at minus 120. He's gone over this number in his last 4 games versus Minnesota, 8, 7, 7, and 7. And he's gone over this in 6 of his last 7 games in the playoffs with 6, 11, 6, 12, 10, 5, and 7. The only one being 5 and missed it by the hook. So I love the over. I can't believe they hung a 5.5 again. So minus 120. It's a little chalky, but I like this prop. So I'm going to go PJ Washington over 5.5 rebounds and Naz Reid 3+3 is a little spicy one, kid. Anything else in this game? Did I miss anything?
No, that's it, though. I just hope it's another great game like it was game 1.
I think it will be, honestly. I think this is the better series. It just sucks, I feel like not just the East, every team in the East is just injury prone. Every team you could go down the list and be like, they're banged up, they're banged up, they're banged up. So even Boston, Porzingis is out and they're still good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to that game. Saturday, Boston on the road taking on the Indiana Pacers. Boston, like I said earlier, laying 7 on the road. Over under is at 224.5. If you're feeling the Pacers here, plus 235 on the money line. I'd imagine Tyrese Halliburton is questionable. Probably get a decision closer towards game time. 1, you think he plays, and 2, what do you see for this game?
1, I do think he plays, in 2, Dale, give me the +7 with the Indiana Pacers. I like what I saw game 1. Well, I love what I saw in game 1. Besides the first 3 minutes of it, and then game 2, Dale, it just got a little out of hand. Give credit for the Celtics on that, but I think at home, I think they're gonna feed off the crowd. They won 3 games against your Knicks all at home. We saw how different the team was as well. How they could just get blown out one night at the Garden, then blow your Knicks out the next at their place. So to me, they have some type of energy in there. They're gonna feed off the crowd. Tyrese, if he's even if he's 85%, he'll play a much better game at home. Miles Turner, he was off in game 2. He'll be better at home. The road guys, Nimhard, Neeson, they'll be better at home. Even TJ McCollum, he hasn't really made his imprint in this series so far. I think he'll be more of an impactful player at home. So Give me Indiana +7. Don't get me wrong. If Tyrese Halliburton is hurt, I'm talking about.
It's gonna go up to double digits.
Yeah, if he's hurt, fuck the +7 people. I'm just letting you know. As of right now, it's Thursday night. This episode's coming out tomorrow, Friday morning. They play Saturday night. It's a lot of time till then, people. So as of right now, I believe Tyrese Halliburton will play. So I like the +7. If he doesn't play, discard everything I just said.
Yeah, so +7, but if he doesn't play with an asterisk, it's a +7 with an asterisk. I feel that. No, I'm the same way. Honestly, I want to know. I have no play. I don't know if he plays, if I'm being honest. Because
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He might thug it out and give it a go, and he can only give you a quarter and a half.
He might do what OG did in Game 7, give you 5 points, and that's it. That's all she wrote. OG was on pace for what? 8 for 10.
He was,
8 for
bro.
12
He was on pace for 40. I'm telling you, OG wasn't missing. Would have pulled him.
I know he was. He was high stepping up the court too. He was gliding, he was gliding on the court. I'm telling you, like if that's all he gives us, you're toast. So it all depends. If Tyrese Halliburton is able to give us a game, let's just say 28, 12, and 5, Pacers good chance of winning that game. Definitely like covering that. But if Tyrese is not Tyrese, if Tyrese goes out there, give us 12 points, shoots 6 for 20 from the field, 6 assists. It's over. Yeah, it's over. So I'm not saying we need Tyrese Halliburton. We need Tyrese Halliburton to show up and play well, because we can't just get a 60% version of him. We need 90, 100% Tyrese.
Yeah, I agree. We'll definitely see closer to game time. I'll have a play and probably a player prop as well. Let's go to the Diamond Kid 15-game slate on a Friday. I like a lot of these games, if I'm being honest. I'll start with the first game. We do have a 6:40 Eastern start time, but I'm going to go a little later, only 10 minutes. Tampa Bay Rays hosting the Kansas City Royals. Cy Young candidate Seth Lugo going for the Royals. I thought it was Tyler Alexander. It's going to be Armstrong for the Rays now. Either way, it doesn't matter. -118 for the Royals, +100 for the Tampa Bay Rays. Over-under is at 7.5. I mean, how good is this Royal team, kid, man? 8-2 in their last 10. They're 32-19 on the year. I took a ticket 60-1 for them to win the World Series. I mean, they're great on the road. Not great. They're 500 on the road, 11-11. But Seth Lugo, I mean, it's nice to see how good he's doing, considering how not bad, but just kind of the up and downs he had when he was with New York. 0.62 ERA on the road. He's 4-0. 2 runs given up in 29 innings. Batters are only hitting 141 off of him. Rays coming into this series, losers of 4 straight. They don't play well at home. They don't have a good bullpen. I'm all over the Royals here, kid. I just think you got to continue to ride them here. No Diddy.
Dill, I couldn't break down this game perfectly the way you just did. So give me the Kansas City Royals -115 on the money line. Let's move on.
Next game form. I'll let you go next. What do you got?
7-10 start. Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Reds struggling as of late. 1-4 in their last 5. Your boy Paxton on the mound. Yep. Dill. Give me the Dodgers on the run line, Dill. -104. I would have took the money line -163 chalk. I even see some books at -158. Even with Paxton on the mound, give me the run line. If somebody else on the mound was on the mound, I would have been like, you know what, just take the chalk. But with Paxton on the mound, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He's having a good season so far. I'm gonna let it ride. Give me the run line with the Dodgers on the road.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. That's my second play. I got Dodgers a little earlier in the day, -152 on the money line. It's still a little chalky, but sometimes
I would have done the same.
Juice is worth the squeeze. We just saw this pitching matchup last week. Dodgers won that game 7-3, and then they hung on -152. I don't get it. The Reds, they still haven't figured it out. Dodgers, I feel like they should be closer to a $2 favorite, if I'm being honest. Paxton, he's 3-0 on the road, 291 ERA, 7 runs given up in 21 innings. I'd honestly attack the Reds team total as well. I mean, outside of Thursday's game, they haven't scored more than 3 runs in 6 of their last 7 games. I think the Dodgers roll here. I laid the chalk on the money line, but I agree with Elvis. I think minus 104 isn't bad. I hate to lay juice on the run line. That's just like a pet peeve of mine. But I'll keep it going. We will go to St. Louis, 8:16 start. The Chicago Cubs going on the road to take on the Cardinals. Minus 144 for the best pitcher in baseball. Shohei Imanaga taking on Miles Mikolas, plus 122 home puppy. Over under is at low 7.5. But how do we not take Imanaga here on the mound? Even there are some props like on DraftKings, no free shout outs, that you could just take them to record the win, for the pitcher to get the win, not the team, just for the pitcher to record the win. And sometimes it's a better odds than the money line. But minus 148, I love the Cubs here. Miles Mikolas, in my opinion, he's just not backable. 0-2 at home, 6.20 ERA. He's given up 14 runs in 20 innings. Batters are hitting 300 off of him. I get it. Cardinals, they have been playing better baseball as of late, but I do think they'll start to cool down against the best pitcher in baseball. The Cubs are the better team. Maybe you want to look towards a K prop for Imanaga. He's averaging around 6.5 strikeouts on the road, but I'm going to take the Cubs here. I think this is a good spot for them.
Same, Doug. Give me the Cubs on the money line, minus 137. You know, it just comes down to the pitching matchup. I understand, like you alluded to, St. Louis have been waking up as of late, winners 4 of their last 5. But I'm not going to put too much stake in that. Mikolas is on the mound. Yes, but when you got Ignaga on the mound, they'll arguably the best pitcher in baseball. He's going to be dealing. And I just think right now, it's just the way to go. I don't trust St. Louis just yet, even though been playing better. I give them that. But give me the Cubs on the road, minus 137 on the money line.
I don't think it will last. I think they will come back down to earth. We were dead on last year about fading them. We said in our preseason we're going to fade them again this season. And for about a quarter of the season, we've been profitable. They've been playing better the last week and a half, but I think they'll come back down to earth. Last game for me. Last game on the slate, actually, 9:41 Eastern. We'll go out to San Diego. The Padres hosting the New York Yankees. Minus 124 for the Yankees with Carlos Rodon. Yu Darvish going for the Padres at home, plus 106. Over under is at 7.5. Give me the home dog, kid. I'll take the Padres here. I think they should actually be the favorite, in this matchup. I think this is a good spot to fade the Yankees. Travel situation for them. They got to go across the country. They played in New York today, going out to California. The bats might be a little sluggish. And against Yu Darvish, he's been great at home. He's been dealing. So I'm gonna fade the Yankees in this spot. I like Carlos Rodon, but on the road, he gives up more hard contact. He does give up more runs as well. Watch out, though. Garrett Cole just pitched in like a warm-up game. He's set to come back within a month, so this team could get really scary. But the Padres, man, they've won Darvish's last 6 starts and against really good opponents. 2 against the Cubs, 2 against the Dodgers, a win against the Braves. The Padres usually play up to their competition. I think they're going to come out aggressive here against Rodon. So I'm going to take the home puppy here. And Luis Rice, since trading for Luis Rice, back-to-back 4-hit games. He has 8 straight multi-hit games. He has 20 hits in his last 38 at-bats. The kid is raking right now.
The kid is definitely
That's all
raking.
I got.
The kid is definitely raking, Dale. I'm going to go with I do lean the Padres as well, but I like Yu Darvish, Dale. He's been rolling. His last 3 starts, he's been striking people out like nothing. Give me Yu Darvish over 5.5 strikeouts. I think he continues his success at home. I understand the Yankees has been hot. I understand, but we not in the Bronx no more, people.
Nope.
We in San Diego. It's a little hot out there. The time difference. Yankees might be a little sluggish first game in San Diego. Give me Darvish over 5.5. K's. That's my play of the day, Dale. And I'll just write it off my last 2 plays of the game.
Yep.
Cleveland Guardians taking on the Los Angeles Angels. I'm going to just keep it at the Angels. Sandoval's on the mound. Give me the Guardians minus 118 on the money line. Money is coming in for the Angels, though. Guardians are down to minus 111 on the money line. And then my last play of the day will be Phillies taking on the Colorado Rockies. Over-unders at 10.5. Give me the Phillies on the road, on the run line, Dill. Phillies red hot winners of 5 straight. I'm gonna lay the run line just because they're on fire, and with that lineup, Dill, they could easily in that ballpark as well. They could hit a few out, or they could just put up damage on the board. So give me Philly on the road, on the run line, red hot, and give me the Guardians as well, minus 118 on the money line.
Real quick, how good are the Cleveland Guardians, kid? I mean, this team is for real. They had a big series win against the Twins, I think, last week, and could just continue to fade the Mets.
They're winning 5. They won 5 straight as well, though. They're on fire.
Yeah, good. They're a good team. I think we've seen enough sample size where teams have shown you who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think
that's why I said on last show, I was like, Kansas City's a good team, people.
That's why I took them 60-1.
By May 15th, you'll know if a team is gonna. By Memorial Day, you'll know if a team is gonna make it's if they're gonna either make the playoffs or they're borderline a playoff team or not.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get on over to the Gridiron Kid. Week 9, we're down to our last 2 weeks in the UFL. Could get your Birmingham Stallion tickets minus 140 to win the UFL. I mean, I told you back in week 3 at plus 170 to take it. It's down. Sometimes you got to lay the juice if you didn't get in on it. But 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. Some matchups are already set. Some teams have already clinched. But we'll start with the first game on Saturday. Arlington Renegades hosting the St. Louis Battlehawks. Battlehawks laying 3 on the road, minus 175 on the money line. Plus 154, Alex Perez and the Renegades. Over-under is at 46. Kid, what do you got for this one?
Give me the -3 with St. Louis. I know they're not at home. I know they won't have that home field advantage. I understand Perez late down the stretch of the season. He comes alive, Dill, but I don't think it's going to happen. Give me the St. Louis on the St. Louis Battlehawks on the road, -3, Dill.
Yeah, I agree. I love St. Louis -3. Elvis, we talked about it. The Battlehawks are the second best team in the league. It is what it is. They got a good passing attack, led by A.J. McCarron. Shout out him. Second in the league in passing yards, first in the league in touchdowns. And I know Arlington isn't as bad as their record indicates. They fight every week. Yeah, they've been fighting. They could score some points. They have a good passing attack. But I just don't think this is a good matchup. The secondary for St. Louis is elite. Bad matchup for the Renegades. I agree. I'm going to lay the 3 here with the Battlehawks. Let's go to San Antonio. Oh, good matchup here. San Antonio hosting the Birmingham Stallions. Stallions laying 8.5 on the road. Plus 364. San Antonio plus 8.5 on the spread. Over under is at 44. How do you see this one going down, kid?
To be honest, this was a tough one to come down on, but Dale, to be honest, I'm gonna just stay away. From what I saw last week, the Roughnecks were surprising. How well they played against Birmingham. Was it that just Birmingham? I'm not gonna say being exposed, but was it just Birmingham not being ready or taking the Roughnecks lightly, or that's just maybe who the Stallions are or were? I'm not sure about that. Maybe we see them flex their muscles once again week 9, but I'm gonna lean to -8.5. But from what I saw last week, it wouldn't shock me if San Antonio could cover the 8.5. But I don't know, Dill. I don't know. The Stallions has been a powerhouse all season long, so I gotta lean that way.
Yeah, I stayed away from this game. I'd probably take the team total over for Birmingham, if anything, because I do think they'll be able to score points. But they have nothing to prove at this point. They locked up the number 1 seed. They locked up who they're going to play in the playoffs. they're just trying not to get hurt for the playoffs in this particular. I think that's why I think we saw such a close game last week. And we got to give Houston credit. They did play a much better game than I think a lot of people anticipated. But also Birmingham took their foot off the gas just a little. I mean, they don't need to do anything. That's the thing. So I agree. I probably would take the plus 8, if anything, 8.5 I'm actually seeing. But I do think Birmingham, it's inevitable. They're going to score 28, 35 points, I think. So, if anything, if you want any action on the game, I would take the team total over for Birmingham. But lean San Antonio plus 8.5 at home. Let's go to Sunday. Both games on Fox. Both games at 2:30, surprisingly. First game, Houston Roughnecks hosting the Michigan Panthers. Panthers laying 3.5 on the road, plus 164 Houston. Over under is at 40. I love Michigan here, kid. Obviously, you know, at this point, every team has played each other at least once. Michigan, they won back earlier in the season, 34-20 over the Roughnecks. They have a good defense, good run game as well. I think they're going to keep Michigan on the sideline. Houston can't score anyway. Houston scores only 15 points per game. They have just one win. Michigan has a good run offense. They can control the clock. And I think the Panthers defense, they're not the best, but I think they're good enough to stop Houston. Like I said, they only score 15 points per game. They have the fewest first downs in the league, which means they have the most third downs in the league. And they're only converting 37% of their third downs, Houston Roughnecks. So Michigan, I'll lay the points with them. They've already clinched the second seed in their division. They're going to play the Stallions in the first round. So I think they're just going to cruise into the playoffs, kid. I got Michigan.
Yo, give me Houston Roughnecks plus the 4. Yeah, I'm going to just throw that back at you. They already clinched the second seed. Maybe they on some, you know what, why, risk an injury against the Houston Roughnecks? We saw how well they played last week. Why not, come out, fight with the same pedigree and energy for your home crowd one last time? And I think they'll do that. So I think they're live dogs just because I think Michigan might just play first half, draw a couple plays, execute them, and then, just sit the starters for the second half. Maybe it goes that way, or maybe guess what, though? Maybe the Houston Roughnecks shocks the world. Give me Houston plus 4 just because I love how they played last week on the road. I think they'll play similar at home.
All right. And then the last game on the board, we'll go out to Memphis. Showboats hosting the DC Defenders. Defenders laying 5 on the road. Plus 200 for the Showboats. Over under is at 46. Memphis stinks, kid. They've given up 32 touchdowns so far this season, the most in the league. The second most given up, guess how much?
Second most points given up?
No, most touchdowns given up. Total. Through 8 weeks. They're
31?
No, they're at 32.
32. I'm going to say 24 next team.
21. Damn. The gap is huge. Their defense stinks. I mean, I like DC, but they're not the best offensively. They have games where they're like, okay, they could put some things together, and then they just completely ghost some games. So everyone stinks on Memphis. I don't like them. If anything, I'd take the over. I think both teams could give up a lot of points. So lean over here, 46.
Give me Memphis Showboats plus the 5.
Oh,
I do agree, but I haven't trusted DC Defenders since like week 5. Yeah. Since week 5, I feel like DC has been a disappointment. They've been losing me money since week 6. I'm gonna just go the other way. Hey, I might just me and DC might just not get along. Who knows? But I'm tired of backing the Defenders. Give me Memphis Showboats plus 5 at home.
I love it. When you're zigging, or when I'm zigging, you're zagging. Elvis, good luck. One of us
gave out winners. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. It's just up to the people to decide who to tell.
Exactly. Elvis, 2 notes before we get up out of here. Greg Hardy got knocked out once again in boxing. That's the 4th straight fight he's been knocked out. Man, I love seeing Greg Hardy get knocked out, if I'm being honest. And then Sean Kingston arrested about 5 minutes ago in Florida because mom doesn't pay taxes apparently, or she's committed fraud. But whatever the case is, Sean Kingston got arrested.
You're way too beautiful, girl. Free my boy Sean Kingston, man. He didn't do nothing.
He just provided for his mom.
Come on, man. The
Any,
record label got him 360.
Any opinion on Greg Hardy getting knocked out?
Should have stood on the Cowboys.
Should have never hit women, but yeah, I agree. Should have stayed in football.
No,
Sport
you're
you can
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Elvis,
right.
Any plans for Memorial Day weekend, kid?
Let's just, for all the listeners out there, please don't drink and drive. The Uber, the Lyft, shit,
Taxi,
Papi on the bicicleta, don't matter. The price is worth the price. It's worth your life. Trust me. Thank me later. Don't drink and drive, people.
That's a bar. Elvis, thank you so much for that wisdom on the way out. And yeah, everyone have a good Memorial Day weekend. Be safe. Big beach weekend. Got a full slate of action. We got some boxing. We got some spring football, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, huge baseball slate. So we're locked and loaded this weekend. That is going to do it for this Friday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself, make sure you guys follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at the Dream Wager. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review. Leave in the comment who you'll be betting on this week. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great weekend. Good luck on your wagers. We'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.